What's up everybody? Welcome to the Stocks channel. My name is Corey and today we saw another extremely bullish day in the stock market and we're seeing stocks like Tesla absolutely blowing off the top. How much higher can this market go without a pullback? First up, let's take a look at the S&P 500 SPY ETF. So let's crack open this chart and see what's going on in the stock market today. Alright, so today we saw SPY going up 0.54% and it was a very exciting day in the stock market to say the least. We still see the bulls taking the elevator up, and at this point it looks like the bulls are stuck in the elevator and don't know how to get out. This has been an extremely impulsive rally and we still have 4 gaps below on the S&P 500 that have still yet to fill. Now remember, I don't expect to see all these gaps getting filled until the next correction, so don't pay too much attention to these gaps down here around 436 because we have so much support above that gap. We're not likely going to fill that gap unless we see a complete reversal in the market. As you can tell, we are going up on decreasing volume, but I already told you to expect that because when you're taking the stairs up, you're always going to see lower volume. In this scenario, we have low volume taking the elevator up, which just tells you there's absolutely no sellers out there. If there was sellers out there, we wouldn't have this easy of a path on the way up. So don't just assume that this is not a bull market because there's low volume. That's a rookie mistake, and looking at the volume alone is not enough because you still have to follow the price action. Blasting through resistance level after resistance level and closing at brand new all-time highs is always going to be bullish price action. At this point, if you missed out on this rally, you're absolutely probably asking the question, when is there finally going to be another pullback? And I do think your time is coming very soon. At this point, I'm seeing a lot of FOMO and a lot of people that continue to try to short this market, and they're getting squeezed and the cash is coming in off the sidelines, which typically tells us we are very near a pullback. The level I do think we could see a pullback from is going to be SPY levels of 457, and the most likely support level we should pull back to is the gap close at 450 or the gap close right around 447. So we have strong support around 448, so we might not fully close that gap. But I do think we're very close to finally seeing a pullback in this market. Obviously, I could be completely wrong and we could do something just like Tesla did and just continue to go up, defying gravity and defying all odds, and just go straight up there to 460. So don't just try to short the market because I think there might be a pullback. Follow the price action. If we get rejected at 457 and you start to see the market reversing, that could be a shorting opportunity. But if you're not good at shorting, don't even bother trying because it's very difficult to do. You're much better off just raising cash and waiting for the pullback. And if you miss this rally, you just need to go back and rethink how you're going to play it differently next time. Don't chase something you missed, or you're just going to lose money during the pullback and you're going to lose hope in trading completely. So right now on SPY, look for resistance at 457, and if for some reason we blast right through there, your next price target is 460. To the downside, we'll have support right around 453, the gap close at 450.5, and that strong support area around 448 to 447. If for some reason we come any lower than that, you still have support at 444 and the gap close at 442.7. So this is a very bullish market, and you can tell from the price action and the moving averages with all of the positive slopes and the very strong trend in the upward direction that this is not a bull market that's going to give you an easy entry. So at some point you need to decide if it's worth your risk tolerance to jump into this market for just this little bit of upside left. Even though we could blast through 460 and continue to go higher, we are due for a pullback in the very near future. If you're not sure what you're doing, you're much better off just being patient and waiting for a more clear entry in this market. Jumping over to the NASDAQ 100 triple Qs, we had a very bullish day in the NASDAQ, mostly due to Tesla stock going up over 1% and getting up to that resistance level at 378. Now we didn't close above that resistance level, but it does look like we're going into that level with a lot of upward momentum. So we could blast right through that level as soon as tomorrow and get to the next resistance at 381.5. If we do break above 381.5, we're very likely going to blast right through the previous all-time high and go straight to 388. And remember, the triple Qs have not formed a new all-time high yet, even though we did on the Dow Jones and the S&P 500. So the triple Qs have a lot of big tech earnings this week, and if those earnings reports do well, we could easily see the triple Qs blasting through to a brand new all-time high. So don't rule out that possibility. If you're sitting there telling yourself that this market can't possibly go any higher, I'm here to tell you that yes, it can. And it very likely will if there are strong earnings this week, because we do have a lot of beaten up stocks that still have plenty more upside, like Facebook and Apple. If those companies do well on earnings and continue to trend higher, expect to see the triple Qs breaking out as well. So watch those resistance levels above, and your strong support levels are 373 and 370. Below that, you have the 50 EMA, which is right around 368, and I don't expect to see the triple Qs breaking down below 368, so that will by far be the strongest support. There is a gap down here around 360, but I don't think that gap will fill until we go through another correction, and I'm not expecting to see a correction at this time. On the Dow Jones, we were up about 0.25% today, and we see the Dow Jones closing at a brand new all-time high, so there's no way you can look at that as anything other than bullish. The price target we're likely heading to is right up there at 360, with downside support at 356, 355, and 351. There's a gap to fill right around 349, but I don't expect to see that gap getting filled right now, but do be aware if we do go down there, that is a strong support level. The Dow Jones has very strong support around 348 and 349 in the event that you do see price action going down that low. All of these moving averages are positively sloping and the price action is extremely bullish, so it's very likely we're going to continue to head up towards that price target at 360. On the Russell 2000, we were up 0.95% today, and we continue to see the Russell 2000 looking very strong. Remember, we got that bullish breakout look, and ever since we never looked back, and today the Russell 2000 did something very bullish, which is getting a price action close above 229. So at this point, the Russell 2000 bulls have the bullish price action, breaking through resistance, and the full bull trend, so there's no reason to believe the Russell 2000 is not going to 232 in a hurry. And above 232, we're more than likely going to see the Russell 2000 break out and start to see a bullish rally. Above the breakout level at 232, look for resistance around 234 and 238.5, which is a brand new all-time high, which would be a very bullish development if we do break above about 235. To the downside, you're looking for support at 229, 226.5, and the breakout level right around 224.5. If we do break below that, look for very strong support around 223.5, even though I don't expect to see the price action actually going that low. That will be your most critical support level. Next up is the Arkk ETF, which was up 3.45% today, and we see price action looking very bullish, blasting right through 120, and the price action is back above the 50 EMA for the 6th day in a row. This is bullish price action and bullish developments, and we see the Arkk ETF having positive slopes in all the moving averages as it's developing some bullish momentum. We went up today on Arkk on increasing volume as we blasted through that resistance, so it does look like the real deal breakout. We still have upside resistance around 123 and 126, and above 126, look for resistance right around 128. Downside support will now be the breakout level at 120 and the 50 EMA right around 117, and we're very likely going to stay above the 50 EMA if Arkk is going back into a bull trend. If we break down below the 50 EMA, look for support around 115 and 113. On the VIX, we were down 1.23% today, and we still see the VIX trending lower with bearish price action and the bearish trending. It's very likely the VIX is coming back down towards 14, and then we could possibly see another spurt of volatility. If you see the VIX spiking back up, look for resistance around 17 and 18.2, and anything below 18.2 is just normal volatility and a normal pullback. If you see the VIX spiking back above 20, then we're looking for a more volatile pullback that could turn into something bigger like a stock market correction. But right now the VIX is heading lower, which tells us the stock market is still relatively bullish, and the VIX is likely to continue to trend down towards 14. On Bitcoin, we're currently up just over 3.5%, and we see Bitcoin did bounce off of that support level right around 59,000, and we're heading back up, back above all the moving averages, and we still have the full bull trend. So look for Bitcoin to break back above about 64,000 to get above our price target at 67,000. Remember, that was a resistance level and it did trigger a pullback, but that doesn't mean that Bitcoin can't break that level on the next attempt and then go to our next price target at 75,000. Once we get to 75,000, that should be another very strong support level, so watch that level very closely. If we see Bitcoin breaking back down below 58,000, your strongest support level is going to be down here right around 53,000, and you really want to see Bitcoin staying above 53,000 if it's going to stay bullish. Above 58,000, we should maintain the bull trend, but below 53,000, we'll likely lose the bull trend and we could see the market going sideways. So right now, Bitcoin is still full bull, but watch those critical support levels and make sure we're maintaining the bull trend if you are buying the dip. On Amazon stock, we were down about 0.5% today, and we see Amazon getting back down to that critical support level at 33.11. Remember, this is my line in the sand that Amazon has to stay above this level to remain bullish. So if you see Amazon breaking down below about 33.11, you need to be a lot more cautious of another leg lower that could come back down to 31.85 or 31.36. You have earnings coming up very soon, so don't gamble through earnings because you'd never know exactly what could happen going into an earnings report. There's no doubt Amazon has a lot of concerns going into earnings, but follow the price action because as long as it's staying above 33.11, we could finally go up there to close that gap at 35.80. So to the upside, look for resistance around 33.66, 3400, 34.52, 3500, 35.52, and then the full gap closes at 35.80. So there is a ton of resistance levels above for Amazon to close that gap, and you will need to see very impulsive price action if you are going to see Amazon blasting higher and closing that gap above. So if you see any weak price action to the upside, don't fall for it because it's more than likely going to fail to break out and come back down for another leg lower. You want to see a very impulsive rally, and you want to see Amazon going up to close that gap in a hurry. Otherwise, it's just a bull trap, and don't fall for it. Jumping over to Tesla stock, I'm sure many of you are dying to know what's going on with Tesla stock. And I don't know exactly why Tesla is doing this, but this is what's called a blow off top, and it was one of the scenarios we were talking about. Without a doubt, looking at this volume, there is a ton of buyers in this stock, so you can't look at the price action and just assume we have to go lower, because obviously everybody is voting with their money and they're buying this stock at these prices, which tells you there's something going on. So while this is a blow off top, you never know how high you could possibly go, so I do have some levels for you that you need to watch above. Now, one thing I will tell you about Tesla stock is if you are not in this stock, you should not be buying at these levels because there is a lot of downside risk and it will happen very quickly. What goes up in a blow off top will usually come down just as fast, and if you're buying in at the top, you're going to feel like you made a huge mistake on the way down, so just don't bother chasing a stock like Tesla. I don't suggest trying to short it because you never know how long it could stay irrational, and we don't know if Tesla is just going to bull flag from here and then continue to go higher. So don't ignore the fact that there is a ton of buying volume on Tesla, which tells you this is a very bullish move and it's not something you just want to try to short into. Now to the upside, we do have resistance around 1050 and 1080, and those should be very strong resistance levels. So if we see the price action blasting right through them like they're not even there, that does mean the stock is going to stay irrational and we're going to see a further blow off top, which could bring Tesla all the way up to about 1218. Now, I don't think Tesla is going to blow off the top to 1218, but that doesn't mean Tesla cares what I think. We could easily do it, so don't just assume you could short this stock and it's easy money. I can't tell you how many people thought shorting Tesla was a guaranteed win and completely lost all of their money trying to do it. So don't try to short Tesla unless you know what you're doing, and watch these critical levels above 1050, 1080, and then 1218. Now to the downside, we still have plenty of support that Tesla could continue to bounce off of, and we could keep these gaps open to keep people getting bear trapped and trying to short Tesla lower, just failing to do so and losing all of their money. So to the downside, look for support right around 962, and the full gap closes around 910. But don't forget, there will be support at the top of that gap as well around 943. Below that, there's support at the previous all-time high at 900, and then the gap closes at 846 and then around 820, and that will be our 20 simple moving average of support as well. So we could see Tesla coming all the way back down to about 820. That would be the blow off top where we blew off the top, got to about 1050, and then gave it all back just as fast and came back down to 820. That is one of the possible scenarios, but that doesn't mean it has to play out just like that. So watch the price action at all of these critical levels. If you're not sure what to do on a stock like Tesla, you're much better off just not trading it. And if you're an investor in Tesla and you own the stock, you're much better off just holding it and letting it go for the wild ride, because you never know how high something like Tesla could possibly go. So that's my spiel on Tesla. Take it or leave it. Just watch those gaps and don't assume they have to get filled in a short amount of time. They could stay open much longer than you could stay solvent. On Apple stock, we were flat on the day, going absolutely nowhere, and we still see Apple getting rejected at that resistance level, which is our trend line level of resistance at 150. We see the price action still above all the moving averages, and we still have positive slopes, so we still do see a bullish price action and a bullish trend in Apple stock. However, Apple has to stay above 145, so that's the most critical support level. If Apple breaks below 145, it's very likely coming back down to 142 or 139, and below that, you're looking for the gap close at 137. Earnings is right around the corner, so that will have a lot to do with where Apple goes from here, but on a break above 150, you're looking for a retest of 157. So watch critical support at 145, and the critical resistance breakout will be above 150. On the financial sector, we were flat on the day, but we still have bullish price action, and we still do have a very strong bull trend. The industrial sector was up about 0.25%, and we still have bullish price action, and we're developing a lot of bullish trending in the industrials. The healthcare sector was up 0.12% today with the price action back above the 50 EMA for the 4th day in a row, and we're starting to see these moving averages developing a positive slope. The energy sector was up 1.47% today, and we still see very bullish price action and a very strong bull trend in the energy sector. So jumping back over the S&P 500, this is definitely still a very strong bull market, and all of the sectors across the board are still looking very strong. We're getting into some very critical resistance, and we're definitely going to see short squeezes and FOMO rallies, but don't just assume that this market has to see a pullback. I think we're due for a pullback, but like I always say, follow the price action. The market doesn't care what I think, and the market doesn't care what you think, so just follow the market and try to do the trade that's going with the trend. Right now, the trend is still very bullish, so you want to try to buy off support levels, and right now you're not getting a lot of opportunities to do that, so you need to be very quick with your entries and make sure you're taking profits and not getting too greedy. Remember that we're starting to see signs of FOMO, and we're starting to see signs of blow off tops in stocks like Tesla, and that could maintain for longer than you would expect. Remember, markets can stay irrational much longer than you can stay solvent, so don't just assume that what goes up has to come down. You'll be very surprised on how something can just continue to go up, and you could continue to get short squeeze if you're trying to short the move just because it's going higher. This is a strong bull market and not one you want to try to short unless you know exactly what you're doing. Don't forget that I also have my own trade alert service called BANC Trade Alerts that only trades TQQQs, and with the current market condition, I think now is the best time to be a BANC member. I'm currently running a 50% off promotion code for your first month, so now is the best time to try out BANC Trade Alerts. You can find out all of the details and how to join by clicking on the links in the description of the video. I also have the Stocks Channel Discord where I do intraday updates and analysis to help you navigate this market and stay on the right side of the trade. If you're interested in joining the Stocks Channel Trading Discord community, you can find out how to join by clicking on the link below. So thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you're crushing this market. And as always, I will see you in the next episode.